Welcome back to Who Died Today USA channel. In the past few days, we have received somber news about the passing of extraordinary talents. Today's episode is dedicated to honoring their memory. Additionally, we will recap the stars we have recently lost. Before we begin, we kindly ask for your support. If this video or the legacies of these remarkable individuals have touched your life, please consider giving this video a thumbs up as a sign of respect and remembrance. Thank you.
Can I speak to Joey for a minute? Heck no! Ron doesn't care if I use the phone too much.
Jay North, the boy who brought mischief and charm to millions of television screens as the original Dennis the Menace, has died at the age of 73. With his signature slingshot and infectious smile, North became a symbol of post-war American childhood, full of energy, innocence, and chaos. He passed away peacefully at his home in Union County, Florida, on Sunday morning, April 6, 2025, after a long battle with colon cancer, according to his longtime friend and co-star, Lori Jacobson. North began his journey to stardom at the age of 6, starring in Dennis the Menace from 1959 to 1963. His portrayal of the energetic and good-natured troublemaker endeared him to audiences across generations, securing his place as a beloved character in classic American television. Behind the scenes, however, North's path was not easy. Like many child stars of his time, he struggled with the pressures of fame and the difficulties of life after his rise to fame. He often spoke of being stereotyped, which led to a sharp decline in acting opportunities after the show ended. In the years that followed, he moved away from Hollywood, joined the military, worked in the health food industry, and eventually became a corrections officer in Florida, where even fellow inmates sometimes recognized him as Dennis. Despite his hardships, those close to him remember Jay North as a kind, generous man with a heart as big as a mountain. He found peace and happiness later in life, surrounded by friends, love, and quiet purpose. Jay is survived by his wife, Cindy, and 3 stepdaughters. His legacy will live on in the laughter he sparked and the warmth he brought to countless homes.
Of your love's loveliness, I hope.
In the soft echoes of a bygone era, the voice behind one of pop's most tender ballads has fallen silent. Johnny Tillotson, the beloved singer of the timeless 1960 hit Poetry in Motion, passed away on April 1, 2025, at the age of 86. His wife of 45 years, Nancy, confirmed that he died following a long and courageous battle with Parkinsonism. "He was my best beloved knight of my heart," she wrote in a heartfelt tribute. "He will be missed every single day for the rest of my life. He was simply the best." Born in Jacksonville, Florida, Tillotson's musical journey began in childhood, performing at local events and radio shows. While studying journalism at the University of Florida, his talent was discovered when a demo tape reached the ears of Nashville's music elite. That serendipitous moment launched a remarkable career with Cadence Records and later MGM. With chart toppers like "Talk Back Trembling Lips," "You Can Never Stop Me Loving You," and the hauntingly beautiful "It Keeps Right on a Hurtin'," Tillotson's voice became a comforting constant on radios across America. His work earned him 2 Grammy nominations and admiration from icons like Elvis Presley and Bobby Darin, who covered his songs. Despite the glimmering success, Johnny's final years were shadowed by illness. Yet even in fragility, his spirit remained undimmed. Just days before his passing, he released a new song, "Everything I Touch Turns to Blue," a final testament to a soul that never stopped creating, feeling, or loving. Johnny Tillotson is survived by his wife Nancy, his children and grandchildren, and a legacy that lives on not only in his melodies, but in the hearts of those who found poetry in his motion.
Here the first thing tomorrow morning. She'll verify it with receipts, everything.
Sorry, John. Francis, you're running late.
Thanks, Phil.
In every era of television, there are actors whose performances not only entertain but deeply resonate, leaving behind more than just roles, but reflections of humanity. James B. Sikking was one such actor. With grace, conviction, and understated brilliance, he brought life to characters that will live on long after the credits roll. James B. Sikking, best known for his portrayal of the sharp and disciplined Lieutenant Howard Hunter in the groundbreaking series Hill Street Blues, passed away peacefully on July 13, 2024, at the age of 90. Surrounded by family at his home in Los Angeles, the veteran actor left behind a legacy that spans more than 6 decades. He earned critical acclaim, including an Emmy nomination, and later reached new audiences through his role as the compassionate Dr. David Hauser in Doogie Howser, M.D. Sikking's journey was not without hardship. In his later years, he battled dementia, a slow and difficult illness that gradually dimmed the clarity of a once sharp mind. Earlier in his career, he navigated the unpredictable nature of Hollywood, often taking on minor or forgettable roles to stay afloat. He once candidly reflected, "I'd done acres of crap before finding his artistic home in Hill Street Blues, a project he would later call the finest of his life." He is survived by his beloved wife of 61 years, Florine, their children Andrew and Emily, and 4 grandchildren. Though he may no longer walk among us, James B. Sikking's legacy endures, in every line delivered with quiet fire, in every role that rang true. His life reminds us that great art often comes from resilience, and that dignity once earned never fades. In a quiet corner of Palm Desert, California, the world lost a man whose life was filled with the roar of engines and the rebellious spirit of cinema. Chad McQueen, son of the legendary Steve McQueen and beloved for his role as Dutch in The Karate Kid, passed away on September 11, 2024, at the age of 63 from organ failure, the tragic result of a serious accident he suffered in 2020. His family, in a heartfelt statement, shared, "His incredible journey as a loving father and devoted husband was one of passion, resilience, and legacy. We are deeply saddened." Born on December 28, 1960, in Los Angeles and raised in Malibu, Chad's path seemed destined for both the screen and the track. His role as the fearsome and daring Dutchman in the 1984 martial arts classic left an indelible mark on popular culture. Although his film career was short-lived, his presence in The Karate Kid and its sequel helped shape a generation's memories of cinematic villains. But it was on the track, not the red carpet, that Chad felt most alive. Inspired by his father's love of speed, Chad made a name for himself in motorsports, competing in prestigious races such as the 24 Hours of Le Mans. After a near-fatal crash in 2006 ended his professional racing career, he continued with McQueen Racing, developing high-performance cars and mentoring young talent. Chad is survived by his wife Jeannie and children Stephen, Chase, and Madison. His legacy is one of resilience, grace, and a fierce love for family and the open road. A spirit that, like the roar of a classic engine, will remain a lasting inspiration, etched in the memories of all who admired him.
Try and make all my business calls, Pete, after 1 o'clock, because it's good business.
It's also cheaper.
That's why it's good business.
The world of British theatre and television bids farewell to a true gentleman of the arts, Lee Montague, the BAFTA-winning actor whose powerful presence and compassionate spirit touched countless lives. He passed away at the age of 97, leaving behind a remarkable legacy of talent, resilience, and unwavering commitment to both his craft and his community. Born Leonard Goldberg, Montague trained at the Old Vic Theatre School and became a familiar face on screen through beloved roles in Bergerac, Bird of Prey, Jekyll and Hyde, Waking the Dead, and Casualty. In 1961, he became the first storyteller on BBC's Jackanory, a role that earned him a BAFTA and captured the imagination of an entire generation of children. His film work included performances in Brother Sun, Sister Moon, Jesus of Nazareth, Moulin Rouge, and The Secret of Blood Island, collaborating with renowned directors like Franco Zeffirelli. Despite his achievements, Montague faced challenges throughout his career. As a Jewish actor in post-war Britain, he encountered discrimination and had to navigate an industry not always open to diversity. In later years, declining health limited his stage appearances, but he remained fiercely devoted to his community. Most notably, he led the effort to save Keats Community Library from closure in 2011. He continued to perform literary evenings with dear friends like Michael Palin and Robert Powell, even as age and illness weighed on him. Lee Montague is survived by his 2 children and was married to fellow actor Ruth Goring until her passing in 2023. He died peacefully, having lived a life rich with artistry, compassion, and quiet courage. As Michael Palin reflected, he was wise, funny, empathetic, always a pleasure to be around. Julian Holloway. The beloved actor, best known for his roles in the iconic Carry On film series, passed away on 16 February 2025 in a hospital in Bournemouth after a brief illness. He was 80. Holloway's agents confirmed his passing in a statement, marking the end of a career that brought laughter and levity to generations. Born in 1944, Julian was the son of legendary My Fair Lady actor Stanley Holloway. He honed his craft at RADA before stepping into the spotlight with his breakout role in the 1962 sitcom Our Man Higgins. Throughout the 1960s and 70s, he became a familiar face in British household, appearing in 8 Carry On films, including fan favorites like Carry On Camping and Carry On Up the Khyber. His presence extends beyond the big screen, with memorable roles in television classics like Porridge, The Sweeney, and The Likely Lads. In later years, Holloway's career undergoes a quiet but determined transformation. After facing a decline in screen roles and grappling with health issues in his later life, he found a new chapter in voice acting. Relocating to the United States, he overcame personal and professional challenges to build a thriving second career behind the microphone. His voice brought to life characters in James Bond Jr., Father of the Bride, and Star Wars, The Clone Wars, employing his versatility and tenacity in an ever-evolving industry. Julian Holloway is survived by his daughter, author, and model Sophie Dahl from his relationship with Tessa Dahl. Remembered by friends as the wittiest of men and a constant, loyal companion, Holloway leaves behind a legacy of laughter, resilience, and a distinctive voice that will long echo in the hearts of those who knew his work.
Just every month, like he'd get his check and go straight to the casino, gamble his ass off, and then by like the 50th.
Rick Harrison, a life forged by curiosity, resilience, and the power of story. There are lives that rise from humble beginnings with a quiet force, shaped not by spotlight, but by persistence, passion, and purpose. Rick Harrison's is one of those stories. On a scale from 0 to 10, how much does his journey inspire you? Let us know in the comments below. From the corridors of a childhood marked by health struggles and constant change, to the bustling counters of a world-famous pawn shop in Las Vegas, Rick has turned the pursuit of knowledge and the power of human connection into his life's most valuable currency. Born on March 22, 1965, in Lexington, North Carolina, Rick Harrison's journey from a restless childhood to becoming a household name in American television is one defined by perseverance, intellect, and an insatiable curiosity. The son of Richard Benjamin Harrison, famously known as the Old Man, and Joanne Rue Harrison, Rick's early years were marked by constant relocations due to his father's naval career. Each new place demanded adaptability, sowing the seeds of resourcefulness and a deep appreciation for family bonds. values that would shape his path for decades to come. From a young age, Rick was fascinated by objects with history. While other children were drawn to toys, Rick gravitated toward coins, books, and collectibles, captivated by the stories each item carried. A significant chapter in his youth involved grappling with epilepsy, a condition that kept him homebound and often isolated. Yet, it was during these times that Rick developed a love for reading, immersing himself in books and unknowingly laying the foundation for the encyclopedic knowledge he would later display on television. The Harrison family eventually settled in Las Vegas, a city ripe with opportunity and rich in its own layered narratives. It was there that Rick's entrepreneurial instincts blossomed. In 1989, alongside his father, he opened the Gold and Silver Pawn Shop, a modest venture that soon attracted locals for its eclectic inventory and the charm of the father-son duo behind the counter. Rick's ability to appraise, negotiate, and connect with customers stood out, and his eye for rare items and historic artifacts quickly earned him a reputation as a savvy and trustworthy dealer. What began as a local business soon transformed into a national phenomenon with the launch of Pawn Stars in 2009 on the History Channel. The show offered more than just transactions. It was a deep dive into the stories behind each item and the dynamics of a unique family business. Rick's charisma, sharp wit, and genuine curiosity made him a standout personality. His interactions with his father, son Corey, and close family friend Austin Chumley Russell added a human touch that resonated with millions. The program blended humor, history, and humanity, elevating Rick from entrepreneur to cultural icon. With fame came new responsibilities and opportunities. The success of Pawn Stars expanded Rick's influence beyond the pawn shop. He began speaking at conferences, appearing in interviews, and forming brand partnerships. The pawn shop itself became a tourist destination, with visitors from around the globe hoping to catch a glimpse of Rick and his team. Despite the hectic pace, Rick remained grounded, still evaluating items daily and nurturing the relationships that had built his brand from the start. But success did not shield Rick from life's challenges. Years of filming, managing a growing business, and public appearances took a toll on his health. He dealt with fatigue and minor ailments, and these concerns prompted a renewed focus on wellness, regular checkups, a healthier lifestyle, and greater awareness of his physical limits. Rick often spoke candidly about these issues, encouraging fans and colleagues alike to prioritize their health. The most profound personal loss came in June 2018, with the passing of his father, Richard Harrison. Known for his gruff demeanor and sharp business mind, the old man had been Rick's mentor, partner, and moral compass. His death left an emotional void, both personally and within the shop. Rick honored his father's legacy by continuing the business with the same integrity and fairness that had defined their work together. Memorabilia and photos of the old man still grace the shop, a tribute to the man who helped start it all. Beyond television, Rick diversified his business interests. He invested in Las Vegas real estate, recognizing the city's long-term potential. He also explored ventures in entertainment memorabilia and tech platforms for collectors, expanding the Harrison brand while staying true to his roots in historical artifacts and honest appraisal. These endeavors required him to delegate and trust a team of professionals, but never dulled his excitement for discovery. Rick's public role was not without controversy. Questions arose over the authenticity of some items featured on Pawn Stars, and he occasionally faced lawsuits or scrutiny tied to the show's fame. However, Rick always addressed these issues with transparency, leaning on documentation and expert analysis to maintain credibility. He clarified that while some segments were edited for entertainment, the deals themselves were authentic, a balance between television production and real business. Despite his fame, Rick maintained a strong sense of civic duty. He contributed to local causes in Las Vegas, supported epilepsy research, and used his platform to raise awareness for historical preservation. He hosted charity events at the pawn shop and quietly donated to initiatives aligned with his personal values. These acts, though rarely publicized, revealed a man deeply committed to giving back. His personal life, like many public figures, has been complex. Rick experienced several marriages, each bringing lessons in love, family, and balance. He remained closely connected with his children, particularly Corey, who followed in his footsteps at the pawn shop and on television. The father-son dynamic, filled with playful banter and mutual respect, became a beloved element of the show, highlighting Rick's ability to blend business with heartfelt connection. Off-screen, Rick's passion for history remained as strong as ever. He frequented auctions and collector fairs, kept a personal library filled with historical texts, and relished any chance to discuss the stories behind old objects. This intellectual curiosity fueled his professional growth and made him a respected figure not just in entertainment, but among historians and collectors alike. Over time, personal loss and health challenges led Rick to reassess his priorities. He reduced travel, limited public engagements, and refocused on the day-to-day operations of the pawn shop. These choices allowed him greater presence in the business and deeper connection with the people who made it thrive: his staff, loyal customers, and the fans who still visit from every corner of the world. Today, Rick Harrison remains a pillar of authenticity in an ever-changing media landscape. His journey from a sickly child to a celebrated entrepreneur and television personality is a testament to resilience, learning, and the power of passion. In a city known for reinvention, Rick stands as a symbol of staying true to one's roots while embracing change. Whether he's behind the counter, in front of a camera, or supporting a local cause, Rick continues to live out the philosophy that made him who he is. Every object has a story, and every story has value. Don't miss our next tribute story, a touching farewell to one of the most talented and soulful musicians ever, Nashville Songwriters Hall of Fame inductee Troy Seals, who passed away peacefully at his Hendersonville home on March 6, 2025, at the age of 86. With a pen that spanned generations and a heart steeped in country, soul, and rock and roll, Seals leaves behind an extraordinary legacy of timeless songwriting and quiet influence. Born in Big Hill, Kentucky, Seals began his career in the 1950s, performing with rock and roll legends like Fats Domino and Bo Diddley. But it was in Nashville that his songwriting talents truly blossomed. With more than 75 charting singles, including 11 #1 hits. One-hits, his songs have been recorded by icons such as Conway Twitty, George Jones, Reba McEntire, Randy Travis, Eric Clapton, and Willie Nelson. Classics such as Seven Spanish Angels, Lost in the 50s Tonight, and If You Ever Have Forever in Mind have become part of the soundtrack to American music history. Seals' journey has not been without hardship. After his early rise to fame, he took a break from music to work in construction, only to return with a deeper commitment to songwriting. He quietly battled health issues in later years and gradually retreated from the spotlight. But his songs have never wavered. They continue to speak for those in love, those in pain, and celebrate life's simple moments. Troy Seals is survived by his wife, Joanne Campbell, and son, Troy Jr. Although his passing marks the end of an era, his voice, resonating through millions of artists, will live on. A true songwriter, Troy Seals reminded the world that words, when set to music, can live forever.
No one knew what it was. A lot of people still don't know what it is, to be honest with you.
Sal Maida, the gifted bassist whose unique groove powered bands like Roxy Music, Sparks, and Milk and Cookies, passed away on February 1st, 2025, at the age of 76. He died in New York from following a fall in December, as confirmed by his wife, singer-songwriter Lisa Burns Maida. Known for his towering presence and kind spirit, Maida was not only a sought-after musician, but also a cherished friend and mentor to many. Born in Manhattan's Little Italy on July 29, 1948, Salvatore Maida grew up with a soundtrack of Motown, Sinatra, and British rock drifting from jukeboxes below his window. After earning a degree in economics from Fordham University, his passion led him to London, where a chance encounter with Roxy Music's drummer Paul Thompson launched his professional music career. He toured with Roxy Music in 1973 and soon joined Milk and Cookies, whose brief but influential run shaped the sound of early punk. His deep melodic bass lines also left their mark on Sparks' Big Beat album in 1976. Maida's path was not without sorrow. He suffered the devastating loss of his son Dylan to melanoma in 2019 and in recent months faced health struggles after his fall. Still, his spirit never fades. In later years, he shared his deep love for music through his memoir, 4 Strings, Phony Proof, and 345s, and the radio show Spin Cycle, captivating listeners with stories only he could tell. Sal Maida is survived by his wife Lisa, his son's godparents, and a vast circle of friends and fans. His legacy endures, not just in the unforgettable rhythms he played, but in the joy, knowledge, and warmth he left behind. The music industry has lost a singular voice, a poet of the strange, and a true folk original. Michael Hurley, the underground legend affectionately known as Snock, passed away on April 3, 2025, at the age of 83. A musician, cartoonist, and consummate nomad, Hurley spent more than 6 decades carving his own path in the American music landscape, always on his own terms. Born in Pennsylvania's Bucks County in 1941, Hurley released his first album, First Songs, in 1964, sounding like a relic from a bygone America. He briefly flirted with major labels but found true freedom through independence, founding his own label, Bellmead Phonics, where he combined bizarre, surreal lyrics with original hand-drawn artwork. Whether singing about mischievous wolves or existential pain, Hurley's music danced between the mystical and the mundane, often with a wink and a weary smile. In his final days, Hurley was frail but unflinching. Despite battling illness as a cancer survivor, he performed twice at the Big Ears Festival in Knoxville, fragile in body but resilient in spirit. He left Asheville in hopes of feeling better, played one last show, then returned to Oregon and died the next night. He was still putting the finishing touches on his upcoming album Broken Homes and Gardens. Michael Hurley never sought the spotlight, but his influence has resonated through generations of musicians and fans. His songs, raw, funny, heartbreaking, and tender, remind us to face life's absurdities with a raised eyebrow and an open heart. As his music endures, so does his quiet rebellion, and the joy he leaves behind in the strangest and most beautiful corners of folk music. On January 28, 2025, singer Ryan Whyte Maloney, a memorable presence from Season 6 of The Voice, passed away in Las Vegas at the age of 44. His sudden departure has left an overwhelming sense of grief for his loved ones, friends, and fans who had long admired his powerful voice and deeply sensitive soul. Ryan first captured the spotlight on the Voice stage in 2014 with a moving rendition of Journey's Lights, earning a rare 4-chair turn from the judges. Under the mentorship of Blake Shelton, he advanced to the top 5, winning over audiences with his undeniable talent and heartfelt performances. He quickly became one of the most beloved contestants of his season. After the show, Ryan continued to pursue music with passion and dedication, releasing his debut album Where I've Been in 2015, followed by standout singles in recent years such as Don't Put Me in a Box, Toast to Tonight, and Love with Nowhere to Go. He was also a regular performer at Blake Shelton's Ole Red Bar in Las Vegas, where his emotionally rich vocals and down-to-earth stage presence earned him a loyal following. Despite his many achievements, Ryan faced difficult emotional struggles in his personal life. He openly expressed his inner battles through his songwriting and personal moments. His passing marks a significant loss for the music community and his fans, but the melodies he left behind will continue to resonate. A tender reminder of a life lived with passion, honesty, and heart. Rolly Mosimann, beloved drummer, producer, and sonic architect, born on July 11, 1956, was one of the quiet pioneers of industrial and experimental music. With a bold, creative spirit and an uncanny ability to reach the essence of sound, he not only crafted unforgettable recordings, but also helped shape the sonic identity of numerous legendary artists. Starting as a powerful drummer with the band Swans, Rolly quickly earned a reputation as a sculptor of sound. His collaboration with J.G. Thirlwell in the Wise Blood Project left a lasting mark through works like Dirt Dish and Motor Slug. He later transitioned into production, imprinting his distinctive touch on bands such as The Young Gods, The, New Order, Faith No More, Marilyn Manson, Skinny Puppy, and many others, always bringing a sense of tension, space, and rhythmic force to every recording. Admired not only for his technical mastery and rare creative vision, Rolly was also cherished for his generosity, free spirit, and deep love for life. He lived fully through music, constantly exploring, pushing boundaries, and expanding artistic frontiers. A truly free soul in every sense. Rolly Mosimann passed away at 2:15 a.m. on September 15, 2024, at a hospital in Wrocław, Poland, after a battle with lung cancer. His musical legacy will continue to resonate, much like the raw, fiery, and haunting soundscapes he so passionately brought into the world. The life journey of Jim Tauber, one of the most talented and respected film executives in Hollywood, came to a close on January 25, 2025, when he passed away at the age of 74 due to complications from multiple myeloma. His passing marks not only a great loss to the film industry, but also a deep sorrow for those who knew his generous heart, sharp intellect, and unwavering kindness. Throughout his decades-long career, Jim Tauber left a profound mark on renowned studios such as Columbia TriStar, Propaganda Films, 20th Century Fox, Anonymous Content, and Sidney Kimmel Entertainment SKE. With his artistic vision and fearless spirit, he helped produce and release numerous acclaimed films, including Sex, Lies, and Videotape, Being John Malkovich, The Place Beyond the Pines, and the Oscar-nominated Hell or High Water, 2016. Despite reaching the pinnacle of his profession, Tauber faces significant personal challenges, particularly with his health. After stepping away from the film world in 2015, he embarked on a new and deeply meaningful chapter, becoming a licensed psychotherapist, working alongside his beloved wife, Laura Newman. In 2022, the couple opened Lefty's Coffee in Los Olivos, a cafe founded on values of ethical sourcing and sustainability. Jim Tauber is survived by his wife Laura, daughters J. Lucy, Dixie, and Zazu, and his sister Joni. More than just a remarkable cinematic legacy, he leaves behind the memory of a man who lived with an open heart, who was always present when needed, and who exemplified friendship, connection, and quiet compassion. Macaulay Culkin. The Journey to Becoming Yourself. 6 Childhood Glory. Long before social media created viral fame and instant celebrity, Macaulay Culkin stood at the epicenter of global adoration. With a grin as mischievous as it was endearing, he captured hearts around the world in the 1990s Home Alone, catapulting into a level of superstardom few child actors had ever seen. But behind the laughter and million-dollar box office receipts was a young boy navigating a world built for adults, one he never quite chose for himself. Born on August 26, 1980 in New York City, Macaulay Culkin was raised in a family where performance ran in the blood. His father, Kit Culkin, was a former stage actor who soon took control of Macaulay's budding career. From early on, acting became a routine, not a dream. "I never chose the projects," Culkin once admitted. "My parents basically chose them for me. I didn't read scripts. I would just memorize lines the night before. It became like a job." Still, the camera loved him. He lit up the screen with uncanny comedic timing and a magnetic presence that belied his age. His breakout came with Home Alone, directed by Chris Columbus and produced by John Hughes. As Kevin McAllister, the clever kid left behind during Christmas, Culkin became a household name and earned a Golden Globe nomination, a rare feat for someone so young. Studios scrambled to secure his star power, making him one of the highest-paid child actors in Hollywood history. Success bred more roles: My Girl, The Good Son, Richie Rich, and Home Alone. 2. Lost in New York. From heartfelt dramas to thrillers and comedies, Culkin's charm proved versatile. But the pressure to replicate Home Alone's success was relentless. The demands of work, fame, and public scrutiny began to suffocate the simple joys of childhood. Behind the scenes, tensions grew. His father's controlling nature and family conflicts surfaced, with tabloids reporting on the emotional toll stardom took on the young actor. Eventually, it became too much. By the mid-1990s, Culkin stepped away from Hollywood. He sought normalcy, enrolling in a private school in Manhattan and distancing himself from the industry. For fans used to seeing him in blockbuster after blockbuster, his withdrawal was abrupt and puzzling. Yet it was a crucial act of self-preservation. His absence didn't shield him from the spotlight. Rumors of substance abuse, depression, and erratic behavior swirled, often fueled by unflattering photographs showing him thin and weary. Culkin mostly remained silent, letting the tabloids speculate. While the media painted a portrait of decline, those close to him saw a man trying to reclaim his life on his own terms. Health concerns escalated as reports suggested possible addiction issues, leading many fans to fear the worst. Speculation about the long-term psychological effects of childhood fame intensified. Public fascination was often cruel, ignoring the real mental and emotional toll that years of pressure, control, and lack of autonomy can have on a child-turned-star. The scrutiny was relentless, often reducing a complex human being to a cautionary tale. Tragedy struck in 2008 when his older sister, Dakota, died in a car accident. The loss deeply affected him and further cemented his retreat from Hollywood. Legal battles within the family and lingering trauma added layers of emotional complexity. Though he rarely spoke about his grief, it became a quiet force shaping his personal growth. In 2013, Culkin resurfaced creatively with the Pizza Underground, a parody rock band paying tribute to the Velvet Underground with pizza-themed lyrics. It was quirky, offbeat, and very much his own. While the band didn't achieve mainstream success, it offered a glimpse into Culkin's eccentric humor and desire for creative freedom beyond Hollywood expectations. He began making occasional appearances in indie projects, YouTube skits, and commercials. Unlike his blockbuster roles of the past, these ventures were carefully selected and infused with irony and self-awareness. Culkin wasn't chasing a comeback, he was curating a redefinition. His public persona evolved. Through podcasts and rare interviews, he addressed the rumors with wit and candor, deflating exaggerated stories with humor. He openly reflected on the challenges of child fame, expressing a desire for growth without bitterness. The guarded teen of the past had become an adult at ease with his past and cautiously optimistic about his future. New friendships with fellow former child stars brought understanding and healing. He explored writing, podcasting, and even entrepreneurship, finding satisfaction in projects that nurtured his creativity rather than his celebrity. Personal life brought a new dimension. In 2021, Culkin and actress Brenda Song welcomed their first child. Fatherhood grounded him, offering a perspective shaped by his own complex childhood. Though he remains protective of his privacy, public glimpses suggest a man savoring stability and joy. Professionally, Culkin surprised audiences again in 2021 with a role in American Horror Story. His performance was praised for its depth and maturity, proving that his acting instincts remained sharp. He continues to favor unconventional roles, guided by authenticity rather than box office expectations. Today, Macaulay Culkin stands not just as a former child star, but as a resilient artist who has weathered fame, trauma, health challenges, and reinvention. He has turned the chaos of early celebrity into a quieter, more intentional life. Through loss, struggle, and a refusal to be defined by the past, Culkin has written a new narrative, one of autonomy, creativity, and quiet strength. He may always be remembered as Kevin McAllister to some, but for those who have followed his journey, Macaulay Culkin is a symbol of transformation. Not every child star escapes the shadow of their youth, but Culkin has done more. He's embraced it, grown beyond it, and emerged with a voice unmistakably his own. If you've been inspired by Macaulay's resilience and evolution, show some love by hitting the heart button, subscribing to our channel, and turning on notifications so you don't miss future stories that matter. Let's continue celebrating artists who redefine their paths on their own terms.